This week I want to talk about Yukio Mishima's The Sailor Who Fell from Grace from the Sea. It was written in the 1960s, made into a movie with Chris Christopherson in it in the 1970s, but the book is just so fantastic. It's basically the story of a young boy whose father's died, and his mother becomes involved with a sailor, and he and his friends start to idolize the sailor, and the friends have some strange cultish ideas. They put him up on a pedestal, but then the sailor decides that he wants to marry the kid's mother, and then they decide that he's fallen from the pedestal, he's become weak, and that he has to be killed and poisoned. So it's a very dark novel, and it belongs alongside of things like William Golding's The Lord of the Flies, Jean Cocteau's Les Enfants Terribles, about the evil innate in children. Or in young adults, perhaps. But it's so beautifully written, so lush and so complex. It's sort of like the psychological novel of Henry James, sort of transported into, post-war Japan. It's just something else. I've read it so many times. There's a huge influence on my novel, The Frozen Ocesn, which is about a young teenager who's obsessed with the very dark comics and whose mother gets involved with this guy. He doesn't like the guy. He has fantasies about killing the guy, and then one day they get into a fight and he accidentally kills him, and then he becomes a fugitive and tries to sort of struggle with his guilt. Did he do this on purpose or not? And it ends very, very tragically, and it's written in a kind of a dark, kind of almost Faulkner-esque style, but it's set in some ambiguous time and some ambiguous city that you don't know what country it is, what time, what century it is. But he's got a motorcycle, so he's obsessed with motorcycles. So certainly it's not too far in the past or too far in the future, but an amazing achievement, one of my favorite novels of mine. I encourage you to check it out. Now, my latest novel, The Orphean, is about a fashion influencer, a YouTuber, and he's going to meet his estranged daughter and all the bizarre things happening in the world, and he's struggling with his guilt. Is it his fault that he had this falling out or not? And he meets all these bizarre characters who sort of become a reflection of his own guilt or degree of guilt, and the novel becomes more and more kind of surreal as it progresses. The borders between reality and fantasy start to melt down, and it's very sort of Kafkaesque, perhaps. It's an overused word, but there are actual references in here to Franz Kafka's novel The Trial. So I really encourage you to check this out. It's available on Amazon or anywhere else, just like The Frozen Ocesn is also available, and as an ebook or a paperback. So anyway, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope to see you again.